Welcome to the Clarity Advisor Show, where you'll learn how to grow your team today. Join Ken Trupke and his guests as they discuss what works and doesn't work to grow your team in today's world. And now, your host, Ken Trupke.
Hello, and welcome to the Clarity Advisor Show. As we head into summer, it can be a time that the team starts to get disengaged. People start to take more time off because of vacations. They take Fridays off. They start maybe leaving early and taking half days, and that's all fine. It's okay to take that time to recharge and refresh. We want that. But if it starts to affect the team overall and we start to not be able to do what we need to do to serve our customers and we start losing momentum, well, that's not acceptable as a business owner or as a leader. So here's 6 ideas to help you maintain momentum through the summer. Number 1, plan your work. And this is for you as a leader as well as for your team. You want to have weekly goals. Now, maybe those goals are there's a little bit less in there, or they take a little bit longer to accomplish. So something that maybe you would have scheduled to get done in 1 week back in March, you're going to schedule for 2 weeks in June or July. That's okay. The key is much more about having the accountability and having the goal clear and on paper so that you and the team know what's expected. Much more important than actually what that is. So don't worry too much about what exactly it is. And geez, it seems like we got this accomplished in 3 days back in March, and now we're saying it's going to be 8 days in July. Well, that might be in part because you've got some vacations you got to work around, and you know people are going to start taking some half days and whatever. It's okay, but just focus on what are we going to accomplish and make sure it's clear to both people that, or everybody if it's a team goal, that we know what's expected. People want to know what's expected, and then we want to be able to hold them accountable to say, hey, we agreed this would get done. I know it's summer, but it's still got to get done. We've still got customers we've got to serve. So as far as like days off and such, what I recommend is that you just plan your work, plan the work week and say, this week I'm going to get these things accomplished. And that includes me taking Friday off. See, it's okay to take Friday off. And when you're taking Friday off, don't work. Don't work when you say you're not going to work. But on the flip side, when you say you are going to work, in this case, Monday through Thursday, well, then you've got to work. So don't not work when you should, and don't work when you shouldn't. If you're off, be off. And if you're on, be on. And make sure your team understands that too. Listen, you can take time off, guys. Just make sure we schedule it, know about it, and plan around it so that we can still hit our goals, that we can still be accountable to each other and to our customers to get done what we need to get done and maintain momentum. All right, so number 1, plan your work. Number 2, check in weekly. For you as a leader, check in with yourself and make sure you're hitting what you agreed to hit. Make sure you're accountable to yourself, and then check in with your team. Make sure that you're following up to see how they're doing. And the question is less, where are we with this, than it is, how can I help? We want to make sure that we're a resource as a leader. The team is responsible for getting things done. They're accountable to themselves and to each other and to you to get it done. That's not necessarily what we're worried about as much as how can I help you? So we're not looking to solve their problem as much as be a helpful resource to make sure things get done. So make sure that you're checking in and asking, how can I help? And as far as your own to-do list, make sure you're checking in with yourself. And if you're not on track, what adjustments do you need to make to get yourself back on track? You may not have a leader that's asking you, how can I help you? So you might need to do that for yourself. So make sure that you're checking in weekly. You can't let things go 2-3 weeks. Well, somebody was out and then I was out, and all of a sudden it's going to be August and you're going to look back and say, wow, we really lost momentum. We didn't get much done. Yeah, you got to stay on this stuff. All right. Number 3, morning routine. I highly encourage you to have a morning routine. Now, it doesn't much matter what it is. You don't necessarily have to have that you're going to be reading this certain book for a certain amount of time, or that you're going to work out, or that you're going to go for a walk, or that you're going to do gratitudes, or that whatever it is. Now, all those things are good and could be part of your routine, but they don't have to be. I would encourage you to have at least this one key as part of your routine, and that is a get up time. What time are you going to commit to getting up every day? And so that starts your day with some consistency, and it signals to your brain that, hey, we're still on schedule here. We're still responsible for getting things done. I know it's nicer weather and it's warmer and it's light out, but we're still going to get up at this time and get going. And then whatever you've assigned yourself as a morning routine, and it could just be all things that you would normally do. I'm going to get up, get dressed, make my coffee, eat breakfast, and then either sit down in my office or drive to my office if you go somewhere to work, whatever it is. Just have that routine. And if you're on vacation, it's okay to not have a routine on vacation. Your routine can be get up when you want and do what you want. But when it's a work day, you want to have that consistency and encourage your team to do the same, that there's a routine there. And as far as your team goes, again, I encourage you to have a daily stand-up, that huddle, where every day we're going to meet for 10 minutes and check in with each other and see how we're doing and see who's stuck and to keep things moving. Just because it's summertime and not everybody's there now and some people are on vacation and some people took the day off doesn't mean we can't still have a routine. These are all ways to keep momentum. All right, got 3 more ideas for you on the other side of the break. Stay with me on the Clarity Advisor Show.
Is your business where you want it to be or on track to get there? Clarity Advisors helps business leaders improve communication and get your team aligned and engaged for greater success. We specialize in helping you streamline your sales and operating systems to improve efficiency and grow your profits. Call or text Ken at 616-822-2998 to have a complimentary 12-minute call to see what some clarity could do for you.
Okay, welcome back to the Clarity Advisor Show. Today we're talking about how to maintain momentum as your business heads into the summer. So we've talked about planning your work and making sure you've got weekly goals. When you're working, work. When you're off, be off. And then we talked about checking in weekly, both with yourself. Am I on track to get done what I've committed to? And with your team, with the main question being, how can I help? And then the third thing we talked about is a morning routine, where we're going to get up at a certain time and then do certain things every day to help signal to our brain that we're still working and that we're still being consistent and we're still going to accomplish what we need to maintain that momentum and serve our customers well. So, number 4, contests. Contests might be something that you do throughout the year, or maybe you don't ever do contests, but consider for the summer as a way of engaging your team, creating some kind of a contest. Now, for sales, it can be really easy because you can do things around sales calls or business brought in. And I would encourage you to do both an individual contest that anyone can win and everyone could win, and then a team contest. And you could do one or the other, or you could do both. So for the individual contest, make it something that's within that person's control, something that is an action that they can take and don't need other people to make sure that they get there. And it's not contingent on customers or other outside things. And the obvious one is calls, sales calls. You control how many calls you make. I'm not saying how many people you talk to, that if you get voicemail or you get gatekeepers or something, that's okay. You made the calls. And it's not, did I close a sale or did I get a yes or did I book appointment? It's not the result of the call. It's that you made the call. So everybody could have a call goal and everyone could hit their call goal and then win the contest. And these don't need to be huge. This isn't like a $200 dinner for 2 at a big steakhouse. It could just be a $50 Applebee's gift certificate or a $10 Starbucks certificate. With contests, it's all about winning. People want to compete and win much more than they care about what they actually win. Think about if you go to any kind of sporting event and they're shooting t-shirts out of the cannon. Nobody really wants the t-shirt. They just want to be the one who got the t-shirt, or foul balls at a baseball game. Like, you can buy a t-shirt or a baseball pretty easily, and yet people will compete heavily to be the one to get those things. We just love to get the thing, not necessarily what the thing is. So don't worry too much about what you're going to give away. Just make sure that you're giving something away and making it in a way that people can achieve it. And then the team goal could be, again, for sales example, It could be, we're going to close this much business this week. And as long as we do that, then the whole team gets a reward. That encourages people to stay engaged and to stay connected to each other, so that we remember that we're a team with the same goal of serving customers. And so having that team goal can help pull people together. All right, number 5, book club. I always encourage you to be reading and learning, and encouraging your teammates to be reading and learning. But a book club is always a good idea. And by a book club, I mean you're going to meet weekly for maybe half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour, and talk about whatever you've just read. And maybe you assign a chapter a week, depending on how big the book is, or maybe it's this many pages a week. But whatever it is, you're getting together to discuss what you've read. And presumably it's a business book or some kind of self-improvement book that's going to be helpful to your business and to your team. But the idea here is that it keeps people engaged. They're going to be accountable to each other, because you're going to want to come to the book club prepared, having read what you were supposed to have read. But it also is flexible enough that if somebody misses a week, it's not that big a deal. They can catch up. You can be without the 5th person of your 5-person group and just have 4 that week. It still works. And it keeps people connected and learning together and moving forward and having a reason to show up, frankly. And so if people are off on vacation, that's okay. But we're still going to meet and still going to learn. People like to read during the summer. That's a classic kind of vacation-y beach thing, is I'm going to read this book this summer, or go to the beach and read this book. So let's do that with our business, so it can feel like a summertime type activity. So book clubs, it gives you that common language. When you're reading a book together, you come away from it with concepts that you now have shared and are familiar with it. And when you say just the name of that concept, then you both know what that meant. So, for instance, I often mention Jim Collins's 20-Mile March. If you've read Good to Great, well, then you just know 20-Mile March. And so you don't need to say, hey, remember in that book when they said that, you should do this certain amount every day, no matter, you just go, hey, 20-Mile March. You go, oh, yeah, 20-Mile March. So it's things like that where people now have that common language that, again, engages them and brings them together. So consider a book club. All right, last idea is a 4-day work week. And for some of you, that's impractical, because maybe you've got a landscape company and, hey, you got to be working when the sun's shining, and you can't be taking days off that are available to you because your season's short. That's fine. But where it's appropriate and you can do it, consider the 4-day work week. And the idea is that people are going to take time off anyway. People are going to be taking vacations. People are going to be taking Fridays and Mondays and half days and whatever. But if you take Fridays off, then in theory, everyone's gone on Friday. So now everyone's here Monday through Thursday. So especially in environments where it's important that you're all there together, working together, it keeps it from being, well, this week this person's out and this week that person's out. And then actually, by the time we can get everybody together to meet again, it's going to be, we can't do that for 6 weeks. And it's just, you're losing momentum when that happens. So by having a 4-day planned intentional work week where everybody knows, hey, we're all out on Friday. Okay, then let's make an extra effort to all be here on Monday through Thursday. Now, you're still going to have people out on vacation, but you won't have them hopefully taking that one day off a week. So instead of some people take Tuesday and some people take Thursday, we're all going to take Friday. So let's really commit, guys, to all being here Monday through Thursday. And it just builds momentum. So there's the other 3 ideas. So in total, to review all the ideas here, to keep a momentum into the summer, we want to plan the work, set weekly goals, know when we're going to work, know when we're going to be off. Number 2, check in weekly. How can I help? Number 3, we're going to have a morning routine. Specifically, what time am I getting up so I can get my day off to a great start? And then number 4, consider some contests to keep people engaged and excited through the summer. Number 5, book club. Again, to keep people engaged and learn and grow together. And then number 6, consider a 4-day work week, to get people to be off on the same days and then be on and together working on the same days. Okay, there you have it. My 6 ideas for maintaining momentum in the summertime. Because summertime can sneak up on us sometimes, whereas with the holidays in November and December, those are much more remembered and planned for and scheduled. And we just think, okay, here we go into the holidays. and nothing's going to get done until January. And these ideas will work then too, but we tend to be more aware that we're heading into the holidays. Let's plan and prepare and be intentional. Whereas the summer can just sneak up. All of a sudden we're looking around and people aren't in the office and people have got a bunch of vacations scheduled, and we just start slowly losing or quickly losing momentum. And now we're not serving customers as well as we need to. And it's harder to get back up and get moving again. So consider these 6 ideas, maintain momentum, and we'll see you next time on the Clarity Advisor Show.
Thank you for listening to the Clarity Advisor Show. Clarity Advisors is a speaking, training, and consulting firm specializing in helping you simplify your sales and operating systems to improve efficiency and grow your profits. Connect with Clarity Advisors today to learn more about how they can help you improve communication and get your team aligned and engaged for greater success.